Welcome back. So today we're looking at something that hits a little too close to home for me. We're talking about what some people call the consultant's dilemma.
Ah, yes, I know it well.
You know that feeling, right?
Yeah.
You walk into a boardroom or you hop on a Zoom, and you have to spend the first, 20 minutes just explaining how the world works before you can even get to how you can help.
It's the Groundhog Day of professional services.
I
It is
bet.
absolutely brutal.
It really is. Explaining the same thing, drawing the same flow chart, it's so inefficient. So the material we're digging into today offers a kind of solution, but it's not some sales gimmick.
No, it's more of an infrastructure play. We are talking about the video podcast series.
Right. But we need to be really clear here because I can already feel people rolling their eyes.
Yeah. We are not talking about starting a podcast like it's a hobby. This isn't about becoming the next big thing or, becoming a YouTuber.
Thank goodness. I don't think anyone listening has time for that.
Exactly. This is pure business strategy. The whole argument in the research is that modern trust, it isn't really built on persuasion anymore.
The hard sell is dead.
It's dying, for sure. Trust is now built on familiarity.
Familiarity over persuasion. That's the key concept.
Like anchor, yeah. Look, if I see your face and I hear your voice and I watch you unpack a complex problem week after week, I don't just know of you, I feel like I've already vetted you.
So by the time you actually talk, the trust, it's already there.
The trust verification phase is done.
Okay, that sounds great in theory. But let's get into the mechanics. Why specifically video? The blueprint we're looking at is very insistent that the camera has to be on. Is it just about social media?
That's part of it, sure. But the real reason is it's biological. It's about the speed of trust.
What do you mean by that?
We're all wired to read micro-expressions. So when I see you explain something high stakes, like a supply chain issue or a market entry strategy, I'm not just hearing your words.
You're watching for confidence.
I'm watching for congruence. Does this person actually know what they're talking about, or are they just reading a script? Video is a high-fidelity filter. It cuts through the uncertainty way faster than a white paper ever could.
So it's like the difference between reading a textbook and having a professor walk you through it.
That's a perfect analogy. And that brings up the second advantage, which is simplifying complexity. Consultants deal with messy, expensive friction. That's their job. Video lets you say, look, right here, this is the friction point. This is where everyone gets stuck.
Okay, that makes sense. That establishes the why.
Yeah.
But the part that really caught my attention was the operational side, this idea of a supply chain.
Yes, the repurposing pipeline.
Because I think most people see content and just think, massive time suck.
Yeah.
You record something, then you have to edit it, then you have to write a post, then do hashtags.
And that's the trap. That's where you fail. If you treat it as a bunch of separate tasks, you will absolutely fail. The blueprint calls it a pipeline because you're not making content, you're creating a raw material source.
Okay, so walk me through it. I sit down, I record for, say, 45 minutes. Then I go back to my real job. What happens next?
That one recording, that's the headwaters of the river. From that single file, a proper infrastructure team, and this is, where partners like Tim Africa really distinguish themselves, they pull an entire ecosystem.
An ecosystem.
Yeah. So first, you get the shorts, 8 to 12 vertical clips for LinkedIn, TikTok, whatever. And these aren't just random clips, they're standalone thoughts, hooks.
So that's your social media for the next 2 weeks, basically.
Correct. Then the audio gets cleaned up and sent to Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Then the transcript gets turned into a long SEO-friendly blog post. Then the key ideas become a newsletter. And finally, the best quotes get turned into graphics.
Wow, it's the whole Buffalo approach. You use every single part.
It completely changes the math. You're no longer waking up and thinking, ugh, what do I post today? You're just an expert. You show up, you're smart for an hour, and the system does the rest.
But that system, that's the bottleneck, isn't it? Most experts I know are not video editors.
And they shouldn't be. If you're billing hundreds of dollars an hour, you have no business messing with editing software. This is why you need a partner. You mentioned Tim Africa. Their whole model is built on that. You give them the raw file, they give you back the content pack.
It's being the talent, not the technician.
You have to be the talent. Let someone else be the technician.
Okay, I want to shift to the application here. We've got the how, but let's talk about the who. The research calls this a stakeholder benefit map. Let's use these as our case studies. Who's actually watching and why do they care?
Okay, let's start with the obvious one. Your clients, current and future.
Case study 1, the client. So talk me through the old way versus this new way.
The old way is the sales dance. You get a lead, you have a discovery call, the client's skeptical, they're guarding their budget, they're wondering if you're for real. You spend the whole hour basically auditioning.
Trying to prove you're competent.
Exactly. It's exhausting. Now, the video podcast way. A potential client sees a clip of you on LinkedIn about a problem they're having right now. They watch it, they click through to the full conversation, they binge a few more.
So by the time they call you...
They are pre-educated.
I like that. Pre-educated.
It's so powerful. They already know your philosophy, your terminology. They've seen how you think, so the conversation is completely different. They're not asking, are you any good? They're asking, when can you start?
You're moving the trust-building part of the process out of your billable hours.
And here's the other benefit, disqualification. If someone watches your stuff and hates your approach, they won't call you. And that's a good thing. It's a filter for bad fit clients and a magnet for the right ones.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Okay, case study 2. This one was a bit more surprising to me. Investors and industry leaders. I get why clients would watch, but why would a VC care?
This is critical for any firm that wants to scale. Think like an investor. They hate risk. They're looking for patterns. When they see a founder or a leadership team consistently putting out thoughtful analysis, that signals two things.
Okay, what are they?
Operational maturity and narrative control.
Operational maturity, I get. It shows you can stick to a schedule. What's narrative control?
It means you're telling your own story. If you don't, the market will tell it for you, and the market usually gets it wrong. A video series lets you frame the conversation, react to trends, and define your position in real time.
So if a competitor makes a move, you have a platform to respond immediately. You control the frame.
Exactly. It's public-facing due diligence. An investor can watch 6 months of your thinking and know exactly who they're betting on. That is worth its weight in gold.
And what about peers, other industry leaders?
It's about positioning. In any industry, you have participants and you have conveners. The participant goes to the conference, the convener is on the stage. When you host the conversation, you become the center of gravity.
It makes networking so much easier.
Mm-hmm.
Come on my show is a much better ask than, can I pick your brain?
100%. The show itself is a value add. You give them a platform and you get association with their authority. It's a classic leverage play.
But, and here's the pushback. We've all seen pod fade. People start strong, do 3 episodes, it gets hard, they get busy, and poof, the show dies.
You're hitting on the #1 reason for failure. And the answer is blunt. You can't do it alone. It's an operational problem, not a creative one.
Go on.
If the expert is also the producer and the editor and the social media manager, they will burn out, full stop. This is why that workflow support from a team like Team Africa is so vital. The expert's only job is to show up and be smart. The infrastructure handles everything else.
It's like being the architect of a house. You don't go down and pour the concrete yourself.
Exactly. If the process depends on you staying up late fighting with software, it's not a business asset, it's a liability. You need a system to be consistent. Without consistency, you get no trust.
So let's talk ROI. Because the CFOs listening are saying, okay, this is a nice brand thing, but how do we measure it? It's not just about YouTube views, is it?
No, please do not look at the view count. That is a pure vanity metric. If you're selling a $50,000 service, you don't need 1 million views. You need the right 50 people to see it.
So what are the right metrics?
You look at behavior, you look at time spent. Are people actually watching for 30 minutes? That's deep engagement. Then you look at what's called dark social.
Define that for us.
That's the sharing you can't track. It's a CEO sending your video link to their VP in a private Slack message saying, we need to talk to this person. You won't see it in your analytics.
You see it when the lead comes in and says, I've been watching your show.
Precisely. It's qualitative.
Yeah.
But you can track other things, like newsletter signups from a certain episode or inbound leads mentioning a topic. And again, a partner like Team Africa helps set up dashboards so you can actually see what's working.
So it's not just brand awareness, it's performance marketing.
That's the goal. It makes the investment defensible.
Okay, let's make this really concrete for everyone listening. You're sold on the idea. You're ready to go.
Yeah.
What is episode 1?
The blueprint suggests a format it calls the reality check.
I like the sound of that.
The title is something like, What Everyone Gets Wrong About Your Industry.
It's immediately compelling. and authoritative.
It lets you plant your flag. You spend the whole time debunking myths, outlining real risks, and explaining what good actually looks like. That one episode becomes your flagship asset.
You pin it to your profile, you put it in your email signature, you send it to new leads.
Exactly. That 1 hour of work becomes the foundation of your authority for months.
Well, you don't have to commit to, like, a 5-year plan right away. That seems overwhelming.
Oh, absolutely not. The smart move is the pilot season.
Okay, what does that look like?
Just commit to 6 episodes. Or maybe 10. That's it. Treat it like a finite project.
Manage.
So, step 1, positioning. Know exactly who you're talking to. Step 2, video first recording. Do it right, with good lighting and audio. Step 3, the repurposing pack for every single episode.
And a final step.
Distribution. Don't just post and pray. Put a little bit of ad spend behind your best clips to make sure the right people actually see them.
Post and pray, the official strategy of failure.
It really is. And again, this all comes back to needing a partner. The strategy is simple, but the execution is what trips everyone up. This is what a team like Tim Africa builds the system behind the strategy.
You know, it seems like the barrier to entry isn't the technology anymore, it's the process.
That's a really sharp observation. You're right. The barrier is sustaining high-quality output. Because if you're inconsistent or the quality is bad, you actually do damage to your brand. You look disorganized.
Which is the exact opposite of what you want.
But if you get it right, you become the most familiar voice in your space. And in a world, this noisy familiarity is everything.
I think that brings us to the bottom line then. What is the one thing a consultant listening should take away from this conversation?
The takeaway is that the question isn't, do video podcasts work? We know they do. The question is, do you want to be the most familiar, trusted voice in your field? Or do you want to keep explaining yourself from scratch in every single meeting?
Be the broken record or be the broadcaster.
Attention builds familiarity. Familiarity builds trust. Trust drives decisions. It's a straight line, but you have to build the engine to travel it.
And if you're ready to stop explaining yourself and start building that engine, it seems like there's a clear next step.
You need a partner who gets the production, the repurposing, and the performance marketing.
So here's what you should do. Connect with Tim Africa. They're the ones who build the system behind this strategy. You can find them at tim.africa. That's tim.africa. And check out their podcast hub at pod.tim.africa.
And check their socials. They definitely practice what they preach.
Absolutely. You can find them on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube, all at tim.africa. Go have a look, see what this content pack looks like in the real world, and maybe it's time to launch your own pilot season.
It's time to turn expertise into an asset.
Couldn't have said it better. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Here we go. Ideas fast, started flow. Catch the vibe, catch the spark. Light it up, ignite the dark. With a bigger idea, switches. Podcasters, trends in the marketing riches. Plug it in, turn it loud. Build your brand, make it proud. Pitch it high, pitch it sweet. Performance game, can't be beat. Take pictures with a big idea, switches.